Hello there and welcome to this week's edition of a Late Night Scream Review. This week we're looking at Evil Dead Rise. Groovy!
No matter how busy you ever got, you always found time for me. I can't believe I'm never gonna speak to you again.
When I was just a little girl, I asked my mother,
What is this, Danny?
I found it.
what will I be? Will I be pretty? Will I be rich? Here's what she said to me. It's me. Don't let it take my babies.
This is what happened to Paul. It happened to us.
This evil creates terror through total chaos. All you can do is run.
I'm getting this out of here.
You'd be a good mom someday, Honey Bath.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you know how to lie to kids. Mom?
Mommy's with the maggots now.
What will be.
Eeny, meeny, miny. You.
Hello everyone out there and welcome to this week's edition of a Late Night Scream Review. This week we're talking about Evil Dead Rise. So yeah, here it is. After all these years. Obviously, me, mental Evil Dead fan. I remember watching Evil Dead 2 when I was, 15 years old. And I think it probably changed my life kind of forever, really. I then went back and watched, obviously, the original Evil Dead and Evil Dead 3, Army of Darkness. Bruce Campbell is one of my heroes. You know, love that guy. And then they remade it. Who'd have thought they'd ever remake Evil Dead? And guess what? It was good. It was a good film. So, Evil Dead Rise came out in all cinemas, pretty much everywhere now. I went to see it at my local, directed by Lee Cronin. Well, what's the film about? Evil Dead Rises tells the story of a family. Recently, the father has left, so it's just the mother and the three children. The mother's sister comes to visit them. They live in a big high-rise apartment building, and the mother's sister comes to visit just to sort of check in on the family. She's having a bit of a crisis of her own, so the family comes together to kind of reconcile and kind of sort their problems out. Unbeknownst to them, there's an earthquake, and in the basement of this high-rise apartment, one of the children finds a secret book, an ancient book, an evil book. And unfortunately for us, and for them in particular, he reads from that book, and he really wishes he didn't do that by the end of the movie. So, what did I think of the film? Well, here's the thing. It's getting massive, online. Everybody's talking about this movie, obviously, at the minute. It's just come out. It's a new release. People are really excited, really buzzed, especially the horror community. It's getting rave reviews in certain places, most places. And what did I think? For me, I'm kind of like, yeah, it was okay. It was good. So I enjoyed the movie. There's loads of things I can say that I really enjoyed about the film. But there's also some detractors. So I enjoyed the movie. But it wasn't one of those movies where I was like, oh my God, that was amazing. I can't wait to watch it again. To be honest, I did kind of feel that way about Renfield on the last review. I actually kind of thought, you know what, I'd like to watch that movie again just to see what I could see again and experience it afresh. But with this movie, I enjoyed it. I came out of the cinema, I was pleased. I'd been entertained for 90 minutes or however long the movie was. But I wasn't like, it didn't reignite my thirst for Evil Dead. I didn't come away from that movie going, I can't wait for the next one. I was just kind of like, yeah, that film was good. I enjoyed that movie. What I like about the film, so essentially, because it's set in a high-rise, I really got a lot of vibes of Demons and Demons 2. If anybody out there's seen those films from the 1980s, they're great movies. I recommend you watching them. I got Demons 2 vibes, especially from this movie. It takes the old kind of setup of Evil Dead, reading from the Necronomicon. Your loved ones are being possessed and being taken over by demons, and people have to then kill their friends and loved ones. It's pretty straightforward, but then they set it in a new setting, so it's in a high-rise, it's in the middle of a city, it's a family. The whole cast is literally 2 women, the mother and sister of the mother, and then the 3 children. Spoilers, you are going to see child death in this film. Boy, howdy. So if you're into that kind of thing, then you're really going to love this movie. Again, brilliant. Loved it. Loved the setup. Loved the acting. The acting was fantastic, especially from the lead role of the mother, played by Lisa Sutherland. It's a great performance. The possessed mother that attacks the children. It's great. The effects are fantastic. The kind of possession sequences, death sequences are great. There's some references to the old movie, of course, but they kind of take it in a new kind of spin on it. It's really well paced. The action just keeps going and going and going. It's got a satisfying ending, which is great for any film. And like I say, it's just a really well-rounded, well-constructed horror movie. The only thing that's a detractor for me is that I don't feel like it kind of pushed any real boundaries in terms of the Evil Dead franchise. So there's nothing in this movie that we haven't seen before. In terms of, as I say, past the setting and things like that, there's nothing in this movie that kind of adds anything to the mythos or anything like that. It's just a kind of retelling of the same old story. And it's told brilliantly. It's told really, really well, but it doesn't give us anything more than that. And also, just a couple of quick gripes while I'm on the subject. Evil Dead Rise, it does this weird thing with horror movies where it really relies on kind of the loud jump scare noises. So, like, it'll do that stereotypical thing where things will be very, very quiet, very, very subdued. And then out of nowhere, there's this huge bang! And the sound system at the cinema was, overly powered. It was so loud when this, door would bang open or the big rah would happen. It was like, whoa! But it kind of relied on that too much for me, as opposed to kind of building tension and making something very creepy and eerie and that kind of thing. It just relied on loud sounds. But having said all that, with the minor sort of little gripes aside, Evil Dead Rises is just a really fun, good, well-crafted horror movie. Again, doesn't add anything new to the Evil Dead franchise per se. The setting's different. The kind of dynamic of the people, of the characters involved, it's different. It's very personal. It's a family thing. There's a lot of children involved this time round. So that changes things up. I do recommend this movie. I think it's really fun. The gore is on point. The acting's great. As I say, it's a really good, scary ride. And it's a welcome addition. I can't wait to add it to my Evil Dead collection and stick it on the shelf. I kind of would like to see the characters that are left at the end of this movie go into the next film, having said all that. Whether they'll do that or not, I don't know. But I could see that happening. And I'll go to the cinema and watch it. Absolutely. So, it is a recommend. If you're a horror fan, if you're an Evil Dead fan, you're going to find something to love out this film. There are a couple of cliche things in this movie. There are a couple of little gripes and things like that don't quite add up for me personally. But all that aside, it's a really great fun film. And that's it for Evil Dead Rise. So until next time, stay safe, stay scared, and we'll see you soon. Bye.